Aloha everyone, young and old, and thank you for watching our program today. Sparky Would Go, a Kaua'i talk show for the whole family. United States Senator Spark Matsunaga was born on October 8, 1916, and raised on Kaua'i, Hawaii. Born Masayuki Matsunaga, the beloved Sparky nickname was given to him by his elementary school friends. Sparky liked the name so much, though, that he legally added it to his birth name after World War II. If we emphasize the life and works of our greatest contributors, people will come to realize that moral courage is bravery of the highest type, and America will be called the champion of peace. Sparky was a political visionary who dedicated his life to peace and a united world. This program series honors those people and organizations who are living examples of how to persevere through the hard times, showing us that our lives are worth living.
Today I'm talking or interviewing Mamo Kaneshiro. I've been writing a book on Kloa Plantation Days, a talk story, and he's been a valuable person to talk to, and we've become very close friends. Whenever I have a question, I know I can go to Mamo and he'll answer it.
Yes.
Okay. Mamo, by the way, is 95. His memory is perfect. It's just his hearing is a little bad. Okay, so we'll start, Mamo. Let's talk story.
Yeah,
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, tell me a little bit about where your father came from, when he came, and what
Okay. My father came from Okinawa, Japan in 1909. Yeah, he came with, well, I think not the first group, but this was the second or third. About 25 of them that came on this group from Okinawa, Japan. They all came by boat. Yeah, and my father came to Honolulu, and then he went to Eva, Oahu, to work in the plantation. But he didn't have any contract. He just came, and I guess at that time they didn't have to have contract or anything. So he came and worked for Eva Plantation. And my mom, she came in 1912. How many years later? 4, 5 years later, because two of my oldest brothers were born in Eva. So they worked at the Eva Plantation. My mom and dad worked for Eva Plantation for about 5, 6 years before they decided to come to move to Kaua'i. Well, I don't know why, but my father he's an entrepreneur. He likes to do things, and and really, when he moved to Oahu, he moved to Kaua'i. Well, already he had about almost half a dozen children, and working for the plantation for 5, 6 years. He couldn't afford to feed them or that kind. So he moved in the back of a bakery, lived there for 5 or 6 years before he decided, to move to Kolo, banana camp, where he started the pickle business. Yeah.
And how about your mother? How did she come to Kaua'i?
She came. Well, she came as a picture bride. Yeah, but I love picture bride because, I think my wife was like a picture bride too, because people, when she used to work at our Okinawa department store, people kept an eye on her. And then, when my time to find a wife, they kind of made a match. We call them, in Japanese, we call them shinpai marriage. Yes.
Yeah.
And then.
So your mother, as I understand, somebody knew her in Okinawa, and they also knew somebody here on Kaua'i.
Yes.
And so they exchanged pictures.
Yes.
That's where the picture bride comes
Picture
from.
bride, yes.
I just heard the other day that somebody said her mother was a runaway bride.
Right. Well, sometimes the bride, picture bride, they ran away because when they see their future husband, they saw not a picture like they were good looking, so they were, well, not that handsome, so they ran away instead of getting married to the guy, the person that they were supposed to marry. Yeah.
Now, your father and mother had 11 children.
Yes, 11 siblings.
So 2 were born on Oahu, and the rest of you?
No.
No?
2 of my oldest brother were born in Oahu in 1913 and 1914. And then my dad moved to Kaua'i in 2015. So then the rest of the siblings, well, let me see, 9 siblings were all born in Koloa.
And they, as I understand, they were all born in the kitchen of that house that you showed me.
They're all what? You say?
Born in the kitchen.
No, not all. I was born. No. Later, the other children were born in the hospital because,
Oh.
at Dr. Waterhouse, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Dr. Waterhouse.
Yes, yes.
He was your doctor.
Yes.
Did he deliver you?
Yeah.
I heard he was a wonderful man.
Yeah, wonderful man. We talk about him in the Kolo plantation days because he.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And where did you go to school then?
Oh, I went to school at Koloa School. Yeah, it's right. It's right across the, well, almost across the library or across the mortuary. But what's interesting about our students, we were the wartime students. We started school in 1941. Let's see, is it 1941? No. Well, anyway, Koloa School, we were the wartime students from 1941 to 45. Yeah, after we graduated from Koloa Grammar School, then we went to high school. But that's when, Pearl Harbor was bombed, was attacked in December 7th. So actually, our school year is from September to June. September, October, November, okay? So 3 months, after we went to school, the war started, December 7th. So instead of going to school, for a couple of months, we had to work for the army. We had to string barbed wire all over the ocean, from Lawaikai all the way to Mahalo, because they were afraid that the Japanese would invade Kaua'i, so we had to string barbed wire. Yeah, because they had one plane landed in Nihao, one Japanese plane. Yeah, but this Hawaiian, he killed that.
Yeah, well, you say Vicky Arakaki saw that airplane go down.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, his friend Vicky was playing outside at Kalaheo.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, she was only 11, 12 years old,
Yeah, because
right?
you could see all of Nihao,
Yeah. And all of a sudden, this Japanese plane was going down.
Yes.
And it really scared her. And it crashed on Niihau. And then what happened?
Yeah. Well, the plane landed and crashed. And so, that Hawaiian man, had an encounter with the Japanese pilot, and he killed the pilot. I think I don't know, he special head or something. But, but, you know, it's interesting because my wife was born in close to Barbers Point. And the brother was in the army at that time, and they saw the plane flying, you know, and they climbed out of the roof and waving at them. Yeah, so the brother came from Schofield Barracks and told him, you better get inside because this is war. Yeah, so he had two brothers, you know, that was, one lost his leg and the other one, you know, joined the 42nd. Yeah. So I had two brothers-in-law that was in the army. One lost his leg. Yeah.
Oh, one of your brothers lost his leg in the army?
What's that?
Your brother lost his leg in the army?
Yes, my oldest brother, the older one.
He was with the 442nd, right? The one Puka Puka.
Yeah, one. No, but the other one was 100 Battalion. But, you know, the 100 Battalion, you know, it's not a big outfit, just maybe 800,000 people. But one of my brothers, the one older brother, he was with the 442nd, but he had to replace the 100 because they lost so much men. Yeah, and he got wounded 2 times. my older brother. Yeah, but you know, I heard that you know, this 442nd, they were unafraid. They were that's why they call them go for broke. These Hawaii people were they were oh, they were gung ho. Yes.
They were gung ho. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go back again when you were growing up. Did you speak Pidgin English?
No. We had to speak good English because, yeah, we're Japanese or we're Filipino, Okinawa, but our teachers, you know, they required us to speak good English because we were American now. We're not, we're Japanese or Filipino or German, but you have to learn to speak good English, especially, you know, the school teachers require that.
Yeah, but you didn't at home was playing with your brothers?
No.
No?
Wow.
Wow.
A little bit. Little bit. Yeah.
And who were your childhood friends? Who did you play with?
Well, you know, in our camp, banana camp, we had about 12, 13 houses, and they were mostly Japanese and Okinawan. Well, people say, what's the difference between Okinawan and Japanese? Well, you know, when you come from the main island of Japan, Honshu, well, you're Japanese. But if you're born way down in Okinawa, you're Okinawan. And we speak different language. Okinawa have their own, you know, their own native language. But they can speak Japanese too. Mm. Yes. Mm.
Okay. So what did you remember about the sugar industry in Kaua'i? What was it? Was it the mill whistle that you heard several times a day, or what do you remember? You did work on the plantation sometime.
Okay. Well, you know, in 1935 they had the 100th anniversary, yeah, in Kaua'i, and we lived. Our house was about a couple of 100 yards away from the plantation office, and I heard music. I said, what is this now? So I went over and see what was going on. They were celebrating the 100th anniversary of the opening of the sugar plantation in Kaua'i. Yeah. So I, you know, us being poor, we never had to drink Coca-Cola. So I saw a couple of Coca-Cola bottles there, so I helped myself. Yeah, and then I stayed maybe for another half an hour to see what was going on. But there were about 50 or 60 people, mostly all the VIPs, the loaners, the plantation owners over there, talking story, yeah. And then, they still have the one that the Chinese brought to get the juice out of the sugarcane. Yeah.
The rock, the crushers,
Yeah.
the cane crushers. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So you had your one and only Coca-Cola for the year.
Yes. Yes. We're so poor. We never even could afford Coca-Cola. Only Christmas or New Year we could drink soda. Yes.
Yeah. And what did you do for fun? Yeah, you couldn't afford toys. So what did you do with your friends?
You know, well, you know, when you get children around your place, you got to do something, you know, keep them busy. So, well, we played what they call it, Arabia. You know, those durum bags, you put card inside and you choose sides. Maybe you get 5 on one side, 5 on the other.
Oh, that was the Bull Durham bag.
Yes.
That the tobacco used to come in.
Yeah, tobacco. And then, you know,
And so when it was empty,
when you throw that bug, if he hit that, he's out of the, you know, the game.
Yeah.
So, Arabia, and then we had we play agate, you know, puka, agate, you know, marble.
Marbles, yeah.
Yeah, and then we had the top, you know. Well, you know what is top? You and then the top spin.
Oh yes, the
Yeah,
spinning
yeah.
of
We
the
used to
top.
have
Yeah,
that too. We used to,
yeah.
and then the loser we well, we used to have, you know, pick up ball game, like baseball, football, soccer, yeah, anything to keep us busy. Yeah, you know, during those early days, we never had too much problem with, you know, delinquency or that kind. In fact, I think I was one of the most naughty ones. Yeah.
You were naughty?
Yeah, I'm not a bad guy. I'm just a naughty. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And I understand in school you made kites.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we have a kite contest. I said, not only kite, you make airplane, you know. Kaua'i Koro was a real, you know. I still have the album. You saw that? Well, in fact, 1/4 of the album is eaten by the cockroach already. But you know,
It was eaten by the cockroach?
Huh?
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, we had the kite we made, who could be the farthest and who could go the highest, and yes, we had a contest, you know, kite contest. And then our school was very popular with operetta.
Operetta?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
You know, after school or maybe right after lunch, we have, we had about 3-4 operettas we had at our school, and they were fabulous, yes.
Yeah, so
Because
all of you school children,
Yeah,
and you all sang in the operetta.
yeah,
You'd have 3 or 4 a year?
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because our children, our teachers in Korea, they were very smart in doing operetta. Most of them were related to each other. They were cousins, they were aunties, you know, the Blake family, but you know, even the teachers were very close-knit family. Yeah, so, but I cannot forget Korea School. It's the first, I think, the first school in the island. Yeah.
Let's see. You, I understand, you went to Kaua'i High.
Yes.
And then you played football.
I play football.
But at Kaua'i High, you have played with shoes on, right?
Yes. Yeah, we played, well, actually, you know, I appreciate the plantation lunars, you know. We had about 8 or 10 barefoot team, and each plantation had a team.
And they were barefoot.
Yeah, and they were sponsored by the by the plantation leaders. Yeah. So, and then, well, not only football, but the sports, different kind of sports, that soccer, baseball, yeah. And then, well, actually, I used to play barefoot from, well, maybe from 47, because I was in the Army from June 1945 to January 1947. And then, so after I got out of the Army, I started to play football, yeah. So 47, 48, 49, and up to 1950, I played football.
And you played with 4 of your brothers, right?
Yes.
The Kaua'i.
Yeah, but I had 3 more other brothers play before us.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the older brothers. They were, we were, an athletic family, yeah. Yeah, and then I played high school football from 1943 to 1945. And then we had a coach that came from San Jose State. He was an Olympic broad jumper. And he came to Kaua'i High School in 1943, and then he, started to coach a football team and track and basketball. But he was, that's where I learned to play all those, athletic game, football, baseball, basketball, and track. Yes.
Wow. Well, can I tell a cute little story about Mamo? Well, the Kaua'i High was selected to play in the Western Division of football.
Yes.
And they'd allowed them to have some alumni. So they asked Mamo.
Yeah, so we had, out of our 44, 45 graduates, we had, or 46, we had about 5 alumni that played for Kaua'i High School. Yeah, and we played against the California High School All-Star. They were tough team. They were big. 180, 200 pounds. But, yeah, we gave them a good fight. Yeah, we played it, but we lost to them by a score of 12 to 13 because I missed 2 extra points. I used to kick I used to punt and kick all the extra points for my barefoot team. But, after that, played with shoes for 2-3 years, it's hard to, get used to.
Yeah.
So we lost by 1 point. But actually, we should have won because we had 1 touchdown came back. Yeah.
But when they asked him years later, Mama, you were such a good player, what happened? And he said, I wasn't used to wearing shoes.
Yes.
Yeah, Mama, now tell me a little about your pig farm.
Pig farm?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why did your father start raising pigs?
Yes, my father, well, as I told you, that he came to Kaua'i in 1915, and then he lived in the back of the bakery in Koloa for about 5 years, and then already he had about half a dozen siblings. He couldn't pay. The plantation, you work 10, 12 hours a day, you get paid only $1 a day. So how can you raise, all those children with only $1 a day? So that's why he went into the big business, called Banana Camp. So we lived there until about 1950, 30, 40, 50, yeah. But then gradually we had to move out because the houses were coming up, right across our pig farm. And so we moved to Oahu in 1946. That is what, 75 years ago. 75 years ago. And then we've been there ever since, yeah. So, yeah, I think we were the biggest we were the biggest hog raisers. We became the biggest hog raisers in the whole state of Hawaii.
And that was the M&H pig farm.
We had very good breeding herd. My daughter-in-law Valerie, the one that passed away, yeah, we went to Minnesota to buy this, they call it the large white. Yeah, they call it the large white, and that large white came from Ireland. On the average, pigs, the sow give birth maybe 9 or 10, but the average weaning is only about 6 or 7. So we were getting weaning from each sow about 10 to 12, 13 babies. Yeah, so that's why we were kind of successful. We were able to supply, the 4-H's with all these pigs, not only in Kaua'i, but from Oahu, Maui, Big Island used to buy our pigs. Yeah, but it's not an easy job. Yeah.
Well, Mamo, can you have any sweet memories right off the top of your head? I remember you told me how you appreciated the Hawaiians.
Yeah. What about
how you appreciated the Hawaiians?
Yeah.
The Hawaiian people.
Well, I appreciate the people, the Hawaii, because the land that, the whole state of Hawaii was owned by the Hawaiians, right? But the missionaries came, and then they helped, they bought the land, they had the money, and so I always thank the Hawaiian people because we have about 13 acres right where we are, and across my nephew, Daryl Kaneshiro, he had 250 acres, and that land was all owned by Hawaiian people, and they gave him first choice so he could buy 250 acres, and then he sold 150 acres to pay off his debt. Yeah, and then I just want to thank the people, the Hawaiian people, for sharing their land, with us. If not for them, we wouldn't. Well, maybe the mainland or the Lunas, or pardon me, I mean not the slang, but the Howleys were the one that, But the plantation, they did a good job. They provided, work for us, and so we could educate our children, send them to college, and yeah. But I said, my family, 11 siblings, we had a hard life because half of them never graduated high school, and then nobody graduated from college. So we all had to work hard with our hands and yeah.
Yes, but you could play hard too. I understand that you coached Little League football.
Yes.
And Little League and Pop Warner baseball.
Yes. And involved with I believe that when I became a Christian in 1941, 75 years ago, I think the Lord had a ministry for me. So I started to work with kids, young kids, T-ball, 5, 6 years old. And then I work with T-ball, Little League, baseball, football, all the way up to high school. I work with the children because, I guess that was my ministry, working with children all these years. You know, actually, I'm still working with kids. Yeah, actually, you know, the children, or the boys and girls that I taught, and the teenagers that I was a youth director for our church of young people, they were my mentor. I think they taught me more about life than anybody else. You know, how to be patient with them, how to love them, and how to, you know, just be compassionate about all that they're doing. And, you know, I'm still involved with the children of all over the world. Yeah, in the Farm Bureau, I was, we have the, well, Okinawan club, where we go to Honolulu every year, but now because of the coronavirus, we cannot have any. Yeah, but I believe that God had a purpose for me to be a believer.
Okay, Mamo, you said that you got a pacemaker.
Right.
And you'd been working all your life. As
Yes.
a little boy even, you had to work. You had to work on the plantation and your pig farm and everything. What did you do? Now all of a sudden you couldn't work. What was your goal?
I couldn't work. Well, in 2014, I was still working, you know, at the farm. I go to the slaughterhouse twice a week, get things ready. So actually I go there Monday and Tuesday and Thursday and Friday. Then one day, you know, I was getting weak already, so I kind of fell down and I said, tell my grandson, "Oh, Aaron, can you lift me up?" So okay, he then my daughter heard that, you know, she worked for Kaua'i Medical. He said, "Daddy, did you make an appointment for check your heartbeat or anything?" I said, "No." I said, "After I finish, then after we slaughter the pig, the next day I'll go." Then that same day I had to go already because already something was wrong. I went to Koene Medical, and you know, the doctor looked at me and said, "You got to go to Wilcox because Koene Medical is not like that. It's just a clinic." So when they saw me, and then they said, "Oh," the nurse said, told my daughter, "Can we give him something?" Because I was kind of half dead already. So that same day, that afternoon, they medevac me to Oahu. So they checked my heart. So the next day, I had to put a pacemaker because my heart was really down.
Yeah. So now you couldn't work anymore. So what did you decide to do with your life? You were not one to sit around.
Well, I said, you know, I'm not going to retire. If I retire, I'm going to die, so I better do something. So I kept working with the Go Hawaii ministry. Yeah, with Dr. Sharon Ayabe. Yeah, I've been working with her since 1998. That's when she first came from Florida to Colorado Missionary Church because she heard that we were doing mission. So then out of 200-300 people, I don't know what happened, but she looked at me and said, "Oh, you are the person that I'm going to work with." It's funny. I never met her. But, you know, this is now 1998. That's 23 years I've known her. I know the family. I know the uncles. I know the cousins because they all come from Koloa.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of work did she want you to do?
What that?
What kind of work?
You mean?
She said, I'm going to work with you.
Yeah.
Doing what?
Well, that's what I said. We do mission work. You know, my Dr. Charity, she went to maybe about a couple of dozen countries all over the world. But she goes to the most poorest and the poorest and the homeless and the hungry people of the world. Because we don't go to, you know, rich countries like Korea or China or Japan. You know, they're all okay. So her ministry is working with the poor. So that's why, you know, I've stuck with her all these years.
Mamo, I have one more question. How about your wife, Joanne?
Yes?
Can you tell me a little about her?
Yeah, what about the...
Yeah, you tell me about her.
Well, I tell you, you know, I always cry because, you know, sometimes people only, Uncle Mama give credit. I say, if not for my wife, I say, I would be a poor man if I had to pay her for all the work that she do. Only with a 8th grade education, yeah, she raised all my children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. You know, we never did have big arguments, you know, maybe only about, during our, well, October could be our 71 years in marriage, 71. So I can count in this hand how many times we had arguments or, you know, kind of. But, you know, she's an amazing woman, I tell you. Yeah, she's very, well, she's got a little bit dementia. You know, every time
she's very tiny.
Where are we going today? What are you doing today? Where you go? She even asked me where I was going when I went to my hearing aid at the care. Yeah.
Yeah, you told me the story. She only weighed about 100 pounds, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and where she would have a wheelbarrow full of food for the pigs.
Yeah.
And then your granddaughter tried to do that and tipped it over.
Yeah, because, you know, my wife, I think she's more healthy than me. Yeah, the only problem she had was she had a growth in her, well, in her, what they call it, well, where you get pregnant, you know. She had an apple just as big. That's the only thing that I think. Other than that, she's always healthy. Me, I'm a bionic man from down to my toe to my head.
You're a bionic man.
Yeah,
huh?
but I don't know. The Lord keeping me alive because He has work for me to do. It's not down yet.
Yeah, well, I understand that you are going to live to 125.
Yeah, I said, if I could die, I could die working. I'm not going to be in a care home.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good.
Oh,
very good. Very good.
but you know, the Christian life is a wonderful life.
Yeah.
We get the Bible, the guidebook already. You know what? You know, the Bible said, the Lord says, when you become a Christian, don't think you're going to get a, you know, easy life. You're going to face persecution. You're going to face, you know. Yes, the devil doesn't bother you if you're not a Christian. He doesn't bother you. But if you're a strong Christian, you go get problems. Yes, the Bible says that. Yeah, but you know, that's the way people become stronger and better people because all the problems they get. Because if the rich people, the intelligent ones say, "Oh, I did this, I did this," they don't give God the credit. But if you're poor and you're not educated, and you do things that, you know, is for God, then God got to get the credit, not the other people. Not the people that just depend on what the world system doing. Yeah.
Okay, I think that we've had enough talk story.
Yeah.